Any questions before we start? In its present form as Suncorp Stadium, it's been going for 21 years now, I think. 22 years, this will be 22nd year, was built. Used to be called Lane Park before that, it was a pretty old stadium. And that was the red camp over there, that side. This was all a hill around here. Pretty rugged. I'm from New South Wales originally, so people say, who do you follow? Well, it's state of origin, you know. It's state of origin. Yeah. And I follow some George too. I'm not a Broncos supporter, so I get into trouble about that. So sometimes I just sort of shut up.
Well, we don't follow NRL anymore, go to St George. Probably have another 30 years waiting.
That's right. We had too much too good for a long while, you know. From the 60s, 60s and 70s. As a football stadium, as it is now, it holds 52,500 people. We also have concerts here. You're probably aware of concerts. We had Luke Coombs here 3 weeks ago. He does 2 concerts. When they have a concert, they normally put the stages up this end. Not always. Ed Sheeran had his stage in the middle and a sort of revolving stage, but most of them are up this end, so they lose all the seating here at the back. And then about 17,000 go on the ground. 17,000. So they end up with a bit more. What they lose here, they add on in the thing. We self-sufficient as far as rain watering for the ground and washing, cleaning and all that goes. There's 5 acres of rooftop up there that captures 50 mil of rain will capture 1.1 million litres of water. Wow. We've got big tanks down below, and that'll last us 3 months if we don't get any more rain. For doing all the grounds, and after every event they hose everything down, clean all the rubbish up, and then they hose it down for get rid of all the beer spills and that sort of stuff. Around the edge is fake.
Yeah.
Right around, because that gets a lot of wear and tear, so they've made that artificial. Later on, when we go down there, we're only allowed to go on the fake grass. We're not allowed to go on the ground itself. We're not allowed to do that. You can touch it.
Yeah.
So after the last concert 2 weeks ago, because of all the staging, they buggered up all the grass down. You can see the line across there. That's all new grass. You can see that going out about 20 metres in front of the sky post. That's all new back this way. They laid that and they played on it 3 days later. They can play the next day, they reckon. It all comes in big rolls, and it's got nylon netting there. They have to grow it with nylon netting. It makes it harder, more firm, and holds it together.
Do they have their own turf farms? Or do they?
They don't have their own, but they have a contract with it. It's sort of like on a 10-year. It just grows it further. To replace the whole lot, occasionally they have to do that, not that $1.5 million. Do the whole lot. Yeah. So it's a pretty expensive thing, and it's pretty high tech what they do. That's why they've got to have the exact amount of fertiliser on whatever. This is one of the function rooms. The stadium's actually in 2 suburbs, and this northern end is where we are now, is the Paddington suburb, and then the other end is called Milton suburb. Milton. So this room's called Paddington room. The other one, there's a room down the other end called the Milton room. That's a map of the area. That's the Brisbane River winding through. You might be able to see where you're staying. Maybe some of the streets like this. That's where we are here. The red up there, that's the stadium. The Caxton Street is that street out there. Okay, so past the Caxton pub, that's where I always drink before the games and that up there. Yeah. Pretty wild sometimes. Just a bit about the original site of this. Goes back to the 1800s, mid-1800s started. It was a cemetery. This whole site was a cemetery. Yep. And it held about 4,500 graves. It was very rugged bushland. It wasn't like mown and all nice and neat. It was pretty rugged. And in the late 1800s, the government decided, well, it was actually the New South Wales government at the time, because there wasn't a Queensland government at that time. It was run by New South Wales Legislative Assembly, before they had an actual parliament in Queensland. They decided to make it into a recreation area. So they got rid of they dug up all the graves and they moved them the remains to various cemeteries around local, in the city, and turned it into a sports ground. So when you go outside, you see the photos how it used to be. They had cycling, athletics, rugby union, rugby league, soccer. The circus used to come here regularly. Circus was pretty big in the old days. Yeah, well, I come from a country town. We used to get the circus every year. Right up to the 60s, but now it's all disappeared. But and the last known burial on this site, we don't know where, but it's a fact. There was an elephant died of old age that belonged to the circus, so they thought it was too big to take away, so they just dug a big hole and buried it somewhere. So down below somewhere. Yeah.
Is it like you where you stuck?
This church has been there since 1890, right here. It still used as a church, still has services every week. The original one was built in the 1840s and it got destroyed by a big storm in the 1880s, and then they rebuilt it to that one present day. They've got the historical gravestones just out the back. They're not actually graves, they're just to show what it used to be like in the old days. Yeah, it didn't look like that, it wasn't. It's a charity called 42 for 42. It's quite a big charity, and it raises money for families of the people who died or the ones that came back and had mental health problems. So they raise a lot of money to help those sort of things. Yeah, that's good. One of their major fundraisers every year is here at the stadium. Down on level 3, they have you pay entry to go in it, so that's where they raise the money. And they have a backpack, and it starts out 42 kilos. They take 1 kilo out every lap you do. Sometimes they share it, like you might have 42 doing it, but some people do it by themselves. So they do 42 laps, which is about 42 Ks, starting with 42 kilos all the way down. It goes over the weekend, and they raise millions of dollars. Noise and bright lights and all that sort of stuff. They can come in here and chill out. There's a supervisor. I do a fair bit of it, probably 50% of the time.
Oh, it's like a sensory area.
Yeah, sensory area. I've had it up for a Pink concert last year. I was running this then, and I had I think 84 through one night. She had 3 concerts.
Wow.
84. So.
What do they do? Just come in here and just chill out?
Yeah, so we've got to keep quiet.
Yeah, I guess chill out.
Pink concert, of course.
Yeah,
what are you paying for?
I find that people bring their kids and that.
Yeah.
It's usually little kids, but we get some sort of adults and that. But some have brought their elderly grandfather or great grandfather. And it could be football. They think, oh, it's a good treat, but he can't handle it. He's 95 and he's people shout.
Yeah, the world,
So we get occasionally get people like that. But it's amazing, you can't pick how many you get through. It could be bugger all or heaps. But, most of these corporate areas is sort of hired on a code by code. The Broncos will have theirs for a certain time, the Reds and the Roar. So this is one of the few rooms that's always set up for 4X. So they hire this for every day of the year, basically. Well, sort of, when they sit at a desk.
Yeah.
Oh, the coverage. This is the room they have a desk. You can see a lot of it's shooting at the moment. Most of it's done in the studio in Sydney, and they have a false one of these. But this is how they used to always do it. Magic round, I think they still use it for the 3 days. And if they know it's not going to rain, which I don't know how they know that, they set up down below there.
Yeah, you think this be set up all the time?
No, all these corporate areas and commentaries,
Probably each one. Probably
they've all got their own
slightly
gear, and
do
they've
they?
got to be out by the next day.
Oh.
And sometimes that night they've got to be out if there's another
Yeah,
game on the next day.
Yes, yes.
Suncorp.
Because this year, I know we get the program, I think, I'm not sure what order, but I know there's a Dolphins game, a Broncos game, and a Reds game 3 days in a row this year. Like a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So, and each one has their own broadcasting people.
They've all got their own.
So they've all got it. They'll all go out and move in.
But you think Suncorp as a whole will have a table, you know what I mean? Like have the general, because it's their facility.
Oh, they got the Suncorp itself have got a special place there. Yeah.
There you go. Didn't know that.
We're going to go to another couple of broadcast areas, and that's what happened. You see, it's, they'll put on their whatever it is, whether it's Stan or Channel 9 or whatever. And the next week you come in and it's another one. You know, it could be Paramount or something.
Yeah.
Paramount did the soccer.
Soccer, yeah.
So so that's all in and out. That's it.
Wow.
Corner thing, you know what they're called? Go back to the Roman days.
Oh, yeah, like the charities. Oh, don't remember.
You went to the Colosseum?
Oh, yeah.
It's where they first built this style.
Yeah.
Built vomitories.
Yeah.
Vomitories. And that comes from the Roman days. That's the access to the ground with all the roofing and stuff. These big things here, they're artificial lighting. This end of the ground especially doesn't get as much sun as the other end. So they put them big things that they got especially over winter or winter time, because the sun's different, and they grow, helps the grass grow up, essentially it doesn't get as much light. The air conditioning.
Oh, God, that's nice.
Oh, good? Yeah. This is where they have the press conferences after the game.
Oh, sure.
Anyone want to field a few questions?
Yep. How was that win last week, eh?
Well, ask him the questions. We get the kids to do this, they like it. Go on, ask them.
Yes, first question. So, what were the tactics heading to the game today?
Our tactics, as always, was to win the f***ing game. However, footy's the winner on the day. Next question.
What's this? This is like just a viewing area for some of the corporate areas up above. They come down there, not every corporate area, but some have access to this room. So we've been here, coming here, that's the warm-up area. We normally have those screens across there. It's a big area. You see it quite often on TV. It's a one-way thing. Players can't see in here. You know?
Oh, you come in here to view them. Yeah.
View them warming up and that sort of thing. Or even you can see the coach doing his pre-game and half-time speech and all that. They get those plastic chairs that put them around in the ring normally and get the coach in the middle. That's all.
Could they like hear like the other people in this room?
No, you can't hear anything. No. But what we do with the kids, we give them the right up to get a couple of them going in and do exercises so they get an idea. And they run. They go.
Tire yourself out.
They go. Yeah, that's what we try to do. Crazy. Yeah, it's not open for all of them. There's a couple of rooms up there, bigger rooms that they hire out for certain events and that. Part of that is ridiculous. That fridge is always here. They get it over there, but that's filled with at the game day. The guys, they've got a lot of the special drinks and what have their name on it, so if they've got a special mixture that they come in here and go for every game. It doesn't matter what code it is. It's all decorated. So when you come in, it's all rock over, it's all red. Let's just give you an idea about the mole line grass. So just imagine that's all dirt in between there. So that's what it looks like. That's the actual when they first started here, they actually used to have a machine that was for the after, and they observed, but they don't know any new grass, and they actually, they've got a new contract in the last 12 months. They actually grow it, and it's all grown. It's all grown. Very small. Darius, boy, the man.
Otherwise it's just a bit
You want to get a video of
You go first, bro.
There you go, man.
Oh, how far out can I go?
Just the way that grass, that's artificial grass, that first bit. Is it going? It's all going, is it? I'll do it on the count of three. I'll go 1, 2, 3.
What's his name?
You've got to make those blokes stand
Billy
up.
Moore?
1, 2, 3.
I need to heard you.
Otherwise I'd have to do a haka.
Yeah, the haka better.
All good? Thank you.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you.
Thanks for
Murray.
coming.
Same off, mate.
Thanks, Barry. Cheers. Must see you at Magic Round, eh?
I'll be here somewhere. I don't know where I'll be.